What is up, guys? Wanted to do a quick second video for you. Some people had came out and said that what I had done earlier wasn't really able to be done with other teams. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. What's up, Roger? What's up, TFP? So if you guys didn't catch the stream earlier, basically what I was saying was a couple people had came on and said that what I was doing in terms of exploiting the game was not replicatable, basically, with other teams. So what I wanted to go ahead and do is load up teams I'm really familiar with, and we're going to go back and just want to go through a few plays with you guys and show you. So basically, if you didn't watch the first video, what we'll do is run one here, and we'll show you a couple things that cause problems here on these slant routes with a single high safety. So there's a couple things that you have to look for in reading these plays, and they basically key off animations. So the first thing is going to be how this corner or safety reacts. Generally speaking, they have one of two different animations, where they one spin or one or two where they kind of open up their hips and cut back across. The other is going to be back on how this safety reads. So the problem generally becomes the safety single. Most important is how he's reading right now in terms of the reaction to this ball being thrown. You can see, I don't know because the quality is kind of poor, but you can see Lux throwing the pass right now. And just from the body position back here with McCourty, he's going the wrong way. So what happens is, in that stalling time frame, it allows the receiver time to get open. The other thing you have to worry about then is whether or not you get a blocking animation from your receiver. So when you're watching this, it's very clear when these block animations start, especially when you have a player with any type of towel or dreads. You can see Hilton's dreadlocks are going to shift here. And the reason they shift, if you've got a towel, the towel down there shifts as well. The reason is it's an animation that's cutting right here. And you can see that animation going in and out is whether or not he's going to block. And he does not get a block here. So that's why you see kind of that jump in his player character. And when you don't have that, obviously, you can go ahead and just dive in for a touchdown. So I'm going to just do a few of these. Earlier, I had done this with the Titans, looking at Kevin Byard, and the Giants with Eli Manning. But naturally, better quarterback here makes it a little bit easier. The other thing, obviously, is, and we had talked about this earlier, no matter where you are on the field, so we'll just respot the ball, and we'll run this down to the opposing 20. The reactions are going to be the same. So other than the way the safety plays the end zone, which we'll touch on in just a minute. So X Factor is obviously a problem now for the defense because Luck's been so successful with this, but it's as simple as just rolling out an inaccurate pass. That's strange with X Factor. Really shouldn't happen, but I'm actually glad it happens. You can stay in the pocket depending on the pass blocking. Unfortunately, the Colts pass blocking isn't too well here. And also just sending more people that can be blocked. So this is going to be another good example of Hilton searching for a blocking animation and it being visible. So you go back, again, Patrick Chung spins. Take a look at the safety reacting here. Drops back in his zone. Ball is thrown. Should definitely be reacting to it. And instead, does this animation here, similar to what we just saw. And then the question becomes, can TY get a blocking animation? And right about now, this is the blocking animation. So again, you take a look at the towel, you take a look at his dreadlocks. It's not just shifting like this for no reason. It's shifting like this because the game is searching for an animation as to whether he's going to block or not. And right there it is. Once that happens, he's not blocking no matter what you do. And in many ways, this actually sets whether the play is going to be successful downfield. Obviously, if you get a blocking animation and Chung is out of the play, you have a touchdown. So that is decided right there where Chung is 10 yards from the receiver. So you don't really have a whole lot of skill involved in this. So I wish I had a better offensive line. Of course, there they blocked fantastic, of course. Let's go back and look at this one more time. And as far as, Terrence saying, oh, we'll try this online. I mean, listen, Terrence, you don't have any control over this either. This is what the game does. You can't manually control Patrick Chung to cover Charles Rogers, or Chester Rogers, having a Lions flashback there. You can't manually go back on Devin McCourty and correct his adjustment here. And then I can't take control of T.Y. Hilton and correct this blocking animation that he doesn't get. In this case, when he doesn't get the animation, he literally runs in place. So, again, I mean, the hair and the towel are so telling with these animation cuts. So, as far as, online skill, what exactly are we talking about? You already know that you can't control the defenders that are needed to fix this, and I already know that I can't control the other offensive player needed to make it a successful play. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So we'll do one more, and then I do want to show it down in front at the goal line, and you guys will see also that it's the same way. And there, I mean, pretty much same exact reactions across the board. So with X Factor activated, we're going to move this ball down to the opposing 20. And this is probably when it's worse. We talk about secondary safety players that understand where they are on the field. The zone is actually ran a bit worse, in my opinion, in the end zone here. So, again, roll out, catch, and I mean, right there, he's really nowhere near me. But he actually holds his zone a little bit more. Probably went into replay a little fast there. Holds his zone a little bit more. This is the other animation, which I'm glad we're getting to see in terms of Patrick Chung. This is not the spin, but rather the opening of his hips. Anybody wants to go back and look at the Giants video, they had Kenny Vaccaro in this position, depending the slot receiver, and Kevin Byard, again, was the safety. So here you've got McCourty, two totally different players. And then the reactions are the exact same. So once the ball is thrown right there, I mean, you can see this break is just not indicative of what you're trained to do as a safety. As far as the block, right here again, you see T.Y. Hilton skips into the animation, and this is the game registering whether or not he's going to get the block. In this case, this play is a lot more successful than it was with the Giants, simply because the Colts receivers, are faster. I would imagine that Rodgers is faster than Sterling Shepard. I would obviously say that Andrew Luck is a better quarterback, so I'm hoping that the release of the ball impacts this in some way. So we'll just do this again. I wish I had enough time in the pocket, but, I mean, no matter how many times we do it, the results are going to be the same. And if you ever look at what really goes on in Madden, try to do this from the pocket. The corner got caught, but we'll go back and look at that. The success rate, if anyone watched the original video, is far greater now as the Colts than it was before. So, again, drops back, opens. Ooh. This, again, when you talk about the game searching for animations, what it looks like, these are pretty telltale signs. McCourty, the other McCourty, obviously. For those not paying attention, they have them both. Just searching for a tackle animation that's not there. Running to Jack Doyle, that was nice of him. Whatever's being said, my phone went black, so I can't actually see the screen, unfortunately. But I will turn it back on in just a moment. one more time, and then we'll move the ball just to midfield, and I'll run a few more for you, and we'll get out of here. But I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, this is a consistent problem. You know, there's McCourty spinning around. Come back and take a look at the safety. Most important when there's only one. Reads, ball is thrown, stops, kind of stutters, and then it's up to Hilton. Is he going to get the block animation? You can see right here, watch his feet. Him gliding like this is the game searching for the animation. It either has it in the library or it doesn't. And in this case, it doesn't. So we'll just move it back to midfield. I'll give you guys one or two more, and then that'll be it. But obviously, as you can tell, no matter how many times you do this, and you're welcome to go do it yourself, the results are going to be the same.
Check out! 140! 160, 200! Check out! 120!
So, I mean, if anybody does want to send this over to a developer, I would love to know some rational explanation for this. McCourty, again, completely spun around. Safety, only difference now playing far deeper than before. The depth of the safety play doesn't really matter in relation to the play. Obviously, before when we were looking at the goal line, you know, he could only go as deep as the end zone allowed. But you can see even with much more field in front of him, it doesn't change the logic. It doesn't change the AI. He's still doing the same move as he was, just shallower in the end zone. And then when we go back to TY, again, you know, here's the game, searching for an animation. Is it going to give me the block? Find me another explanation as to why he would suddenly stop running mid-sprint. There is none. It's just a game of animations. Yes, Johnny, we're doing this again because someone told me they did not believe me. So let's move this back to the 20. We'll do one more. When you guys look at independent games and you talk about, oh, animation quality, we want more animations, this is the detriment of that, by the way. The more animations you have in a game, the more dependent they are, and unfortunately, you know, they can become very readable. So, pretty much same thing we've seen. McCourty does his spin. I'm sorry, Chung does his spin. McCourty drops back. The ball gets thrown. He kind of jukes. We go down to TY, and I believe this time we are going to see him get a blocking animation. So as he runs, targets, it's kind of hard to see where that starts. Well, if you watch his footwork here, his stutter step, I would imagine, is the transition from full sprint to blocking animation. A lot of times when that happens, and you know, we haven't actually looked at this, or I haven't looked at this, you guys know I'm just doing this live. A lot of times when this happens, McCourty will shift a little bit when they get together, so it'll be interesting to see. Well, you know, there it is. I mean, why would he do this? Oh, they weren't really on a path to block each other. The game had to merge those animations. It had to blend those animations together. So, realistically, the end result of this play being successful or not is determined, for the most part, right here, if I wasn't caught from behind. And as far as user skill, I mean, you can tell that we're 20 yards away when this takes place. And in a nutshell, I mean, that pretty much is Madden right there. I don't know what the quality of the stream was, so hopefully you guys can make out clearly what's happening. I guess there's no better way to end this than on a touchdown, so at least let's just roll the ball up here to the, we'll do the 30-yard line, and we'll do one more look at it. If you guys have any questions, just leave them up in the chat, and I'll try to get to them as soon as we get done here. I think we're going to call that a touchdown, even though it wasn't. I think we'll be okay. Pretty sure you guys have seen enough to know what we're talking about. Again, spun around. McCourty drops back. Ball gets thrown. Cuts to the wrong side now. I mean, just so you know, the ball is right here. The ball is in air. And he's back here literally cutting to the opposite side. And then TY gets pulled back when the blocking animation isn't there. So he runs in place. That's all there is to it. This is EA and Madden 20. It is literally just a game defined by animations, and can you learn to read them? Can you understand them? And once you can do that, that's pretty much it. I would like to end it on a touchdown, so I think we will. I mean, as easy as it is to read this, you should be able to do it right away. Maybe if I'd have moved the ball down just one more yard, I would have been in better position to do this, right? I think I've got the angle there. I sure do. Yes, Chris, you're a little late. You must not have logged in with the correct account the first time. Good job. For those of you that just got here, you can refer back to the video I did earlier. Some people question that a better defense or a better offense wouldn't have those same scenarios. So with the Colts and the Patriots, I don't think anybody's gonna tell me the Patriots aren't a good coach team, or that they're not a very well-educated team when it comes to defenses. So go back and watch the other video. You'll see the same exact thing, except, you know, the uniforms are different. The name on the uniform is different. You know, Patrick Chung is doing the same thing Kenny Vaccaro was doing. McCourty is doing the same exact thing that Kevin Byard was doing. You know, gets spun around, drops back, ball gets thrown. He's literally cutting the other way. And then the only thing different is T.Y. Hilton, because he has dreadlocks and a towel, you can see very clearly when the animations jump, because everything on him keeps moving. So right there is the game determining he will not get a block downfield. But it doesn't matter because Rodgers has the speed that Sterling Shepard did not have earlier. So with that, guys, if you have any questions, I'll scroll back a little bit in the chat. There's no need to pick a random defense. I mean, this is a very good defense to read reactions on. You know, we're looking at the reaction of a single safety. All right, man, I don't see many questions from you guys. What's my favorite NASCAR track? Watkins Glen and Dover? You know, I think when people look at these problems, they need to understand they are constantly putting in animations for celebrations. They're removing referees from the field for resources, and you know we have plays like this. I'd love Andrew Luck to win the MVP. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love for it to happen. 2K, probably never going to make another NFL game. Madden for just a casual gamer, could be. Is the defense set under random play? No, it's set to cover one blitz. I don't play I did play baseball in high school, but not very well. I don't believe I'm going to continue the streams, no. I don't think the quality is enough on the streams when I went back and watched them, so. What's up, Zatembo? Thank you for support on Patreon there, Chief. I mean, Madden can improve every day. You have community members telling them what they need to do and how they need to do it. I think at this point we're probably seeing faster response to problems from the independent games. So I don't want to drag this out too much longer. I'll give you guys about another 4 minutes. If anybody has a question, I'll take care of it. Have I been in contact with EA? Yes and no. I can't take a pay cut I won't do an entry-level position at my age, and I'm not moving to Florida. I'm also not a game programmer, guys. You know, for Eli Reed, this is zone. Just so we're clear, man. You know, Patrick Chung here is in man coverage, okay? So his responsibility is to go with Rodgers, and he does a very poor job of that. In fact, Rodgers becomes the open receiver based on Chung's spin. As far as zone, you know, you have McCourty back here playing zone. So his responsibility as the safety is to pretty much read the entire field. That's what makes this play so broken. When Andrew Luck throws this ball, you have to recognize this, and McCourty has to make a break on this. And as you can see, he's not only positioned the wrong way after that happens, but he puts himself basically into the quarter of the field where it can't work. Someone else had a question that I was going to answer. NASCAR videos, you know, I had some things happen with 505, so I can't really elaborate on that. Somebody had a really good question, and I can't find it. I know everyone will put in their question again because they thought it was a really good question, but somebody had a really good question. I'm sorry to whoever question I missed, but nevertheless I did. We'll do this one more time, and then that's it, guys. I don't want to do another 40-minute stream. This game obviously is frustrating enough as it is, so to sit here and continue to play it can be a little bit. At some point, you have to understand that the game should be doing something different. Practice mode, non-practice mode. It really doesn't matter. I think Hilton's going to get stopped again trying to look for a blocking animation. Yep. Stops in the middle of the field. The you know, the dreadlocks in the towel I didn't realize would stop this way, but in any event, I'm glad they did. This is kind of a weird image of them together. Perhaps that can be the thumbnail. That doesn't appear to be the look of two players about to score a touchdown, but nevertheless it was. I don't mess with sliders. I don't need to mess with sliders. You know, why would I do that? Why would I manipulate the game and then try to tell someone how to fix their product? That seems counterproductive to me. If you guys load up your game and you load up these plays, you can have the same exact experience, and that's all there is to it. So why would I want to sit here and make the game appear better or worse than it is? That's never going to get you a better product. It's never going to get me a better product, and that's what my channel's here for. You know, whether you agree with me or not, we need a better game, and honestly, the only way to do that is to show the issues with these games, and whether EA takes action looking at this and realizes that it's too much of an animation-based game, or a company like Axis or Maximum looks at this and says, this isn't what we want in our product, and uses it to better their own, or not even create these scenarios, then that's what needs to be done. Trying to get caught up on your comments, that's all. You know, I've spent more time, Jose, with this game in the past 2 days doing these live streams than I have in a month. And if somebody can point the video out where I had shown I only played 3 hours with Madden on my PC, I've done that in the past few days, and that's why I don't live stream. I'm not a live streamer. This would be very at a loss for words how to say this. I could cover this topic much better on a 3-minute breakdown. But the problem there's so many people that will tell me or tell you or want you to believe that, you know, this is me playing the game for 6 hours to find this one issue. But the fact of the matter is they don't play the game enough to know that this happens every single time. I get review copies from EA, guys. I don't need to buy these games. Whether you think it's good publicity or bad, the fact that you're here watching it is really all that some companies care about. It's not that I don't want to not listen to them, Terrence. At the same time, you know, I have complete faith and confidence in what I do. And in a way, it's kind of vindicating to go show all these people that they don't know the game as good as they think they do. And, that's kind of the reason for some of this. I mean, anytime somebody's going to call me out, I'm certainly going to respond to it. Me and Jimmy Smith have a podcast together, so we know each other quite well. I like my short videos too, Terrence. I will do a short video on this just so everyone has something to fall back on. It's also very hard to go to a developer and say, watch a 45-minute stream of me showing the same issue 10 times. Of course, they know it's in the game at this point. All right, well, I normally don't do back-to-back streams, so I know some people had been concerned about the teams that I used or the approach that I had, so I also know some of you guys are on the West Coast, so maybe 7 o'clock isn't indicative for you to watch this on your drive home, so wanted to make sure that you guys had an opportunity to watch it as well. I did play football, Carlos. I did not meet Chuck Pagano in Sanity, but I will be going to the Colts-Raiders game. I know he won't be there, but, it'll be nice. I'm sorry, Madden Football Talk. If you just got on, this was rather impromptu, just like the other one. So, listen, guys, I appreciate all your support, and everybody that watches my video supports my channel. Of course, everybody that follows me on Twitter or subscribes or views or went over to other channels when I share their content, follows me on Patreon, supports me on Patreon. It means the world to me. Probably be the last stream for a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that we covered this as in-depth as possible, and hopefully you guys learned something about Madden, and hopefully EA can take whatever they can from these videos and try to engineer a fix for their game. Until then, you guys will probably just see a whole bunch of 3-minute breakdowns that go into issues, but maybe the people that call those out will have a little bit more found respect for them, knowing that, if they just look at their game a little bit more, they'll see these problems are there. And hopefully as a community, we can all come together, fix these things, get some better games on the market, and, stop buying games, and then for you guys, at least buy them and regret it, 2 months later, not play the game. But by the time the season starts, it's just a bad place to be for all of us. And hopefully we can get a better game that's worthy playing all year round. And that's really what we need to have. It's what we deserve, especially when we've only got one company out here making the NFL game, right? With that said, I will be back in the week with more commentary.